I'm Utkarsh Jaiswal, your English literature teacher. Okay, so today in our second lecture of English literature, I will be explaining the first chapter of your book, that is La Belle Dame Sans Mercy. Okay, so before explaining this chapter in the previous class, I told you to read this chapter because I provided the images, and your work was to read it by yourself and try to understand it. Okay, so in today's lecture, I will be explaining this chapter, but before reading any chapter or anything, we should always know who has written or whose work is this. Okay, so before reading this chapter, we will be reading about or getting some knowledge about the poet of this chapter. Okay, so about the poet of this chapter is John Keats. Okay, John Keats has written this poem. Okay, John Keats, born October 31st and 1795, London, England, died February 23, 1821, Rome, Papal States, Italy. Okay, so it was his birth date and his death and date. Okay, so he was born on 31st October 1795 in London, England. Okay, and died on February 23, 1821, in Rome, Papal States. Okay, English romantic lyric poet who devoted his short life to the perfection of a poetry marked by vivid imaginary, great sensuous appeal, and an attempt to express a philosophy through classical legend. So he was a poet who devoted his short life. Since you could know that he lived for a very short period of time, so he devoted his short life for the English romantic lyric poetry and the perfection of the poetry by his vivid imaginary, great sensual appeal, and an attempt to express philosophy through classical legends. So he devoted his all life for perfectioning or making a poetry very sensual, very good, heart touching, and he was very pleased, or he was very dedicated towards his work. So he devoted his all life in making the poem very sensual or good. Okay, some of the most acclaimed works of Keats are, so his some of the most acclaimed means very famous works are Ode to a Nightingale, Sleep and Poetry, and the famous sonnet on first looking into Chapman's Homer. Okay, so these were the some his proclaimed or acclaimed works of Keats. So the poet John Keats was a very good poet, but he lived for a very short period of time, and in that period also he devoted his life for the making the perfect making the poetry perfect. Okay, by his vivid imaginary, great sensuous appeal. That means he also added his imagination all and his thinking for making the poem very good. Okay, so now on the chapter La Belle Dame Sans Mercy. Okay, before reading chapter, it is given that a minute of thinking. Have you ever heard a story about a knight and lady in need? Okay, so it is that knight means guard. In earlier ages, the king's guard were also known as knight. Okay, so this is to a poem will be about a knight and a lady in need. Lady in need means there would have been a lady who was in need or in any trouble. Okay, okay, so it is given starting, it is given before you read. We should study that. Have you ever heard about ballad? It is one of the oldest forms of poetry. A ballad is a simple song of several stanzas sung to the same melody. It usually narrates a popular story and has a refrain line or lines repeated in the poem. Okay, so have you ever heard about ballad? So what is ballad? Ballad is one of the oldest forms of poetry. It is one of the oldest forms of poetry. A ballad is a simple song of several stanzas sung to the same melody. Okay, so ballad is a simple song of several stanzas. There are very many stanzas in this poem, which is called a ballad. Okay, sung with the same melody. So it is sung with the same melody. It usually narrates a popular story. So in a ballad, the authors or the poets used to narrate a popular story. Okay, real life story in and has a refrain line or lines repeated in the poem, and the many lines are repeated in the poem in this form of poetry, which is ballad. A true story or a popular story is sung by the poet or whoever, and the refrain, a line or repeat lines repeated in the poem, or many lines are repeated in this forms of poetry. Okay, so before reading this poem, I think that you should first go through the word treasure, which is given on the page number 5 of your book, because it is very necessary to understand. Before reading anything, you should always know the meaning of the words which are written, or the meaning of the difficult words. Okay, so in today's work, I am giving you homework to write the word treasure which is written on the back side of your book, that is on the page number 5 in your notebook. You have to write it and you have to understand what is the meaning of these words. Okay, and in further classes you will get the explanation of this chapter. Okay, chalo, thank you students, have a nice day.